Okay, guys, so let's start with listening. Part A. Part A has 24 questions. And at this point, I want to say if we are yet to see that video, that listening overview video, please let's go back to it. Okay? So, just to recap, listening, just like reading, has 42 questions. Question 1 to 24 is for part A, 25 to 30 is part B, and 31 to 42 is part C. So, guys, the first 24 questions, they are bonus. Okay? First 24 questions, they are bonus. And OET decided to design it this way because they don't want to stress you. They want you to pass, okay? So it means in these first 24 questions, you're not going to use your brain at all. I mean, you don't need to fire up your brain. Where you need to fire up your brain is part B and part C. Okay? So your brain can be in safe mode in part A and you can get all the 24 questions correctly. Okay? So, what do you need to do in part A to get the questions correctly? So part A is so designed to be ridiculously simple and easy. So what you are doing is you are listening and paying close attention. You are not making an inference, you are not drawing any conclusion, you are just writing it down as it is being said. Okay? So a tape will be rolled out and you will be required to listen to a conversation between a patient and a healthcare worker, maybe a patient and a doctor, usually a patient and a doctor, or between a patient and a nurse. Okay? And there will be follow-up questions. So, those questions, they are just like what we did in part A for reading. So, those questions will be like fill in the gap. So, it will be based on what has been said in the tape. So, let's scroll up. No, scroll up. Scroll up. Yes. So, now, at this point, I want to implore us, please, let's go back to the overview. If you are yet to see that video, the overview video, please, it's very important because we won't be repeating so many things because of time. We need to save time. Okay. So you hear the questions 1 to 12. You hear an obstetrician talking to a patient called Melissa Gordon. So for questions 1 to 12, complete the note with a word or short phrase. You now have 30 seconds to look at the note. So you will hear on the speaker or the earphones an instructor, giving all these instructions. And after the last sentence, that is, you now have 30 seconds to look at the note. Then the 30 seconds countdown will start. Okay? So what you are required to do is to quickly scan through the follow-up questions, the 12 questions, within that 30 seconds. And this is to enable you to know or to have at the back of your mind what you need to pay attention to, and what you are looking out for, or what you are listening out for by the time they start to play the tape, the conversation between the patient and the health worker. So you have 12 things to pay attention to or to pick from the extract. So they are giving you these 30 seconds so that you can prime yourself and then prepare your mind, and prepare your ears, to pick those things so that once they get to that part, your brain will quickly pick it and then you write it down. So the first one is the occupation of the patient. Melissa Gordon works as. So by the time they are playing the tape, once they get to that part, then you quickly, you'll be paying rapt attention, and once you hear she, mentioning her occupation, you quickly pick it and you write it down. And don't worry, there will be enough time for you to pick the answer and write it down before the tip will get to where the next question will be asked. The next question here, the number 2 question here is ask occasional, like maybe occasional headaches, or occasional abdominal cramps, or might be occasional anything, okay? So that's the priority, guys. So you are being given 30 seconds. You can see how generous these guys are. 30 seconds for you to train yourself and then to prime your heads. But don't forget that in the overview, we discussed on how you can extend that 30 seconds to 1 minute or even more. So please, let's go back to that overview. It's very important so that you won't just change yourself in the exam and be waiting for that 30 seconds mark. So start scanning, okay? So that you can have more than a minute or so to scan and get yourself prepared. Because the first 24 questions is designed to be a bonus, okay? And so what I would like to show us again is, now if we are to look at the extract, the question, you can see Melissa Gordon works as, to the left of that part they wrote patient, so that this will guide us by the time we are listening to the tape that okay, now the patient is still talking about herself, that she's still introducing herself, that okay, because when the doctor walks in, hello, I'm Dr. Smith, and are you Melissa Gordon? Yes, I'm Melissa Gordon. Okay, so what would you like me to call you? Call me Melissa. Melissa is fine. Okay, Melissa, can you confirm your age for me? How old are you? Like that. Okay, so are you married? So can you tell me about your occupation? Just biodata. That's the meaning of that patient. Biodata. Okay. So that's why they wrote patient to the left. So when the patient is giving his or her biodata to the doctor, okay? So that is where you will know, you will pick the answer. Then the second one is medical history. So you will know that the answer to the number 1 must have been said by the time the patient is now discussing about his or her condition, his or her medical conditions. And okay, doctor, I used to have diabetes. I thought I was free until I went for a follow-up and this. So by the time they are not discussing about medical conditions, then you should know that if you are used to write the occupation, you are never going to get that occupation back. The first question, that is Melissa Gordon works as. So this part is to guide us so that we will not be lost. Okay? So that's why they wrote medical history. And so to the left, that's for question 2. You will see it's to the left, medical history. And that medical history, it is when they are discussing about medical history that you need to pay attention for the answer to questions 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay? So the third question, the third clue is baby's father. So before they will get to question 9, guys, the doctor or the nurse that is discussing with the patient, we open a discussion about the baby, and then and then I try to ask some few questions about the baby's father. And so once you hear them talking about the baby or the baby's father, okay, so where is he now? Know that very soon the answer to your question, to question 9, will pop out. Okay? So, family history of dash, child from previous marriage as dash, maybe child from a previous marriage, as maybe as resource organization. I don't know, as based on what the tape is going to, based on what is going to be said in the tape. So once you hear them talking about baby's father, or okay, can you tell me about our previous marriage? How is the father doing? Are you hearing from him? This and this and that. They know that your question 9 and 10, you be getting ready and be tuning your ears to pick the answer to those questions. Okay? So that's how to go about it, guys. Then for 11 and 12, so to the left, they gave you a clue, points raised. It is the patient might try to raise some points, or the doctors. But don't worry, guys. So you can see that they gave more than enough clue. They gave you enough time to prime yourself to the questions. You don't need to listen to the whole tape. Just watch out for these stuff, and then they give you clues to when to like a signpost, that now we are turning left now. So if you are still on the right lane, please join us. We are about to turn left. That's the reason why they wrote those clues there. The first clue is patient for question 1. Okay. The second clue is medical history. That's for question 2 to 8. So those are signposting. Okay. So that we're about to turn left or we're about to turn right. So don't sleep on the bicycle. Okay. Yeah, that's it. So do you have any question up to now? Okay, so now I'll be playing the tape now, and I want to see how we're going to perform, okay? So let's roll the tape.